Hey, how's it going? This is Kevin from Audio Digital. I'm back with another video, and randomization has been a hallmark of what you could do in Bitwig and one of the great features of it ever since it came out. And with the beta 4.0, there are additional parameters that you can use with notes that give you more life and a sense of kind of an organic flow to things. But randomization has always been there, and one area where it's been difficult to kind of use the randomizing tools is in creating random presets. And let me demonstrate for you what the difficulty is in doing that. Now, in the grid, you have a lot of tools here, and you can do a lot with these tools. But if I wanted to create a random preset, basically what I would do is go into the random section here, get the dice or something like it. And then I can get like a logic trigger, and I can get a display so I can see what I'm doing here. So every time I hit this trigger, then I get a random output between 0 and 1. And we can't see anything happening here because we are in polyphonic mode. By default, I have my grid to pop up in polyphonic mode. And so I have to play a note in order to see any changes here. So let's go into model mode so I don't have to keep hitting notes, and we can see changes the output there. So let's go ahead and get a modulator. And then we can connect this up. And let's modulate the shape here. So now every time I hit the trigger, it gives me a variation. So of course, if we had several of these, and let's do one more and duplicate it. Just set it down there. And let's say I modulate the which one of these we use here. And let's make another one and use it to modulate the this guy. That'll be fun. But of course, I want to use one trigger to rule them all. So I'm going to connect this one to all these guys. And then we'll be able to hit one button and get a variation. So we can get a bunch of different timbres using just 3 different modulators. Now the problem with this is if I say, I like that one, I want to keep it, there's not a really good way to save that particular preset. If I just save this whole preset together, the next time I open it up, everything will be zeroed out and it won't preserve this particular iteration. If I just try to change the parameters to match what these things did, it's imprecise and tedious, especially if I had like 20 different parameters that I randomized. Another problem with this as well is that if I am doing polyphonic mode here, all of a sudden each note is going to have its own set of presets. So if I press this note and then this note, and then I trigger, one of them is going to be different than the second one. So each note is basically going to have its own preset. So I'm not going to be able to have anything coherent. Because it's polyphonic, each one of these randomizing dice are also polyphonic, and it just turns into a huge mess. And unfortunately, there's no way to change this to be monophonic within a polyphonic grid patch. You can use modulators and turn them to be monophonic, but there's not an easy way to trigger modulators in the modulation section within Bitwig, so you couldn't just click a button and go through some different presets. But I have found a way to solve most of these problems with minimal side effects or minimal drawbacks. And I've made a randomizing grid preset available for any Patreon or when I get it set up for any members to the channel. Channel membership isn't set up yet, but I'm going to try to do that soon. In any case, let's take a look at what this preset looks like. Here it is. And when you open it up, there are 24 different modulators that you can hook up to any VST or any device within Bitwig and start getting random variations on that. Let's just quickly, I'll just show you how it works. I'm going to load up a polysynth here, if I can find it. Polysynth. So you just put it in the FX bin here. And then when you play, you're going to be playing the polysynth, and this thing isn't going to be making any noise. Then what I can do is just come in and just click in and start modulating different parameters. So let's modulate the shape here. Let's modulate. And there's some buttons here. This one turns off the randomization. Let me get out of that real quick. So you can turn off the randomization and then turn on max value. And what that helps you do is to understand the ranges that you're dealing with. This button right here switches between bipolar or monopolar. I'm going to keep it in bipolar right now. And so we got this one I assigned. So I'm going to do number 2. And so I can easily see the range. When I do, this is bipolar, so half of them are going to be, the negative numbers aren't going to be doing anything. So what I can do for that issue is click on this, and then I can use one of these modulator remappers to do like absolute, and that way I'll still get variation even with the negative numbers. So that's handy to do. I do that rather than making everything unipolar in most cases, because it gives me more flexibility. But yeah, hopefully that kind of makes some sense. So yeah, we got those two. Let me just do like 2 more. Let's go with sync, of course. Maybe we don't want to go too crazy with the sync. And let's do filter cutoff or whatever. And let's see what that gives us. Now let's turn on randomization and turn off this max, but it'll automatically turn off when I turn on randomization, so this doesn't matter. But here we go. Now, when I want to change presets, what I need to do is go to this page here, and there are 3 dials here. Each one of these can dial in a specific number between 0 and 999. And within the grid patch here, we can see what the patch number is. So right now we're on patch number 0, right? So if I turn this up 1, it gives me a different one. So as you can see, I can dial through, and each one of these will give me a unique preset. So there really is 1,000 different variations here. Now this dial right here gives me kind of a fine tuning. It'll let me continuously kind of ride the waves of randomization. But again, if these dials are in the same position, we're always going to get the same preset. So this way I can tweak the preset more slightly. And this one does something kind of similar, but this one does it in a more predictable manner. It pushes things more positive or negative all at once. So this one will give you maybe a bit more predictable results, but it depends on how you set up your modulations as to, you know, how predictable and continuous these sort of modulations are going to do. And I have one that's already set up that is using phase 4. And this is also available, ready to go for anyone who is a Patreon. So right now I'm at preset 267. So I can kind of surf through here. And again, if I want to save one of these guys, I can just go in and save preset to library and just name it what I want it to be. Like sweet keys. And then I can change the clean and bright or something. Yeah. And then put something here like nice patch or something. And if I save it, it's now in the among my presets, and it will sound exactly the same. And I can continue to tweak things from there if I need to. So that's how this all works. This one has some more parameters where I can just change the modulation altogether and change attack and release independently of what's happening here. So I can kind of fine tune things some more. If I'm near the patch I like, but I just want it to be a little bit different, I can use some of these macros to dial it in to be exactly what I want. And again, you can save all that and it will retain all of those presets. Now you can use this, of course, with any VST, with any of Bitwig's stuff. If you want to use it with an effect, you can just convert this to an FX grid, and that will allow the signal to flow through. It can flow through here too. It's just that if you want it to put in a pre-effect there or whatever, you can do it in the node FX section here, but you might want to convert it if you did want to use it with effects. But you can hook it up basically to anything and get 1,000 random variations. And also when you consider how much variation you can get with the fine tune and with the weight adjustment, it's like hundreds of thousands basically of unique sounds. So hopefully this will be fun for some of you guys. Now for those who are interested in how this works, I'm going to do another video explaining how this works. There's a couple of different techniques that I use to make this thing that I think you can probably use in a couple of different contexts. As you can see, it's not terribly complicated. But yeah, when you understand the principles I use, then you'll probably be able to use that for a bunch of different techniques and usages. So in any case, I hope this is helpful to you. I hope this has been fun for you. I'll put a link for the next video as soon as I'm done with it that explains how this all works. So thank you for watching my content and for watching this channel. Be sure to like and to subscribe. If this is the kind of content you like, it encourages me to make more. And thanks again for watching. Bye.